Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 150 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
Good. Not good. Bad weekend for football.
Well,
Texas.
Yeah. Giants.
Syracuse.
Well,
now I don't need to worry about Syracuse playing Clemson. Like, come on.
They're doing game day there. That's
they
pretty
still
cool.
are?
That's what they kept saying during the Texas game.
I guess I was just blocking it out because I was so stressed out.
They mentioned it a couple times.
I knew it was the primetime game, but I thought maybe they would move it somewhere else.
So good for Syracuse, but that's going to be ugly.
At least it's in the dome.
But they always play them tough.
We always play them. When we beat them 2 years ago, we weren't great, but we had Dungy. DeVito is not
I think
Dungy.
It'll probably be similar to the A&M game, where it's like a 24 to... I think it's a 20-something to teens. Like it may be 14 points, but...
I do have to say, obviously, LSU's a better team than Texas. Clearly, that's not in any doubt. I can't believe how that game ended. Like, it went right through Colin Johnson's hand. Like, you couldn't... Would we have tied it? I don't know. Would we have probably won in overtime? Probably not. But...
I think they screwed up when they sent like an all-out blitz on that 3rd and 17 or whatever it was.
Just keep them... No,
and
that
then
was
they
stupid.
got the touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, that
and
was
he made a great throw.
Play.
I do have the announcers, Herbie and... not Reese. I always forget the guy. Not Reese Davis.
The other guy. I can see his face.
Yeah, they look like they could... I mean, they don't really look like they could be brothers, but I always get their names confused. Anyways, when they were talking that, like, well, I think I'm going to put LSU number 1 now. I'm like... No. Let's... They still gave up 40... What was the final score? 42, 35, 48, 41. They beat us by a touchdown. 49-42, something like that.
I think it was 4. Wasn't it 8?
No, it was 7.
It was only 7?
I think it was 48-40. It was 48-41. It was 48-41. But I'm like...
Nah, I think that's too high. I think Texas ended up with like 35.
Then it was 42-35 because it was definitely a touchdown game. But anyways, I'm like... I think that's... Their offense is fantastic. They don't have a defense, though. Like, they gave up 41 to Texas.
Right.
You know, Alabama and Clemson. Alabama looks like Alabama. Of course, they haven't played anybody tough.
45-38.
Okay.
That's what it was.
But I'm like, no. I think they should probably jump up to 3. I would put them ahead.
Top 5.
I'd put them ahead of Georgia. I think that's fine, but I wouldn't put them 1 or 2. I don't think that Clemson or Alabama. I don't think they've looked better than Clemson or Alabama.
No.
Clemson just beat the number 12 team in the country. Again, I know Texas was number 9. But their defense looks amazing. Alabama's defense looks amazing. So I don't know. I think they'll actually... Do the rankings come out on Sundays or Monday? I might have missed it. They might already...
I think it's Sundays, but yeah, I never saw anything.
I would put them number 3, but whatever. It's been a long weekend when it comes to football. We'll see how my fantasy game ends up. But if this is the first time you're seeing us, this is not a fantasy football podcast or a football podcast. This is the Two Player Co-op Podcast, where every week 2 brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button down below. Share the video with your friends and family. Even if you only listen to us on audio, please go over to youtube.com/2playercoop. Drop a subscribe right there and hit that bell so you get notified. It would mean the world to us. Thank you so much. I do want to give shout-outs to our Two-Player Co-op producers, Steve Appleton and James Solar, as well as our Two-Player Co-op affiliate, Logan Wilkinson, Lefty Logie himself. If you like merch and you want to get a Two-Player Co-op shirt, hoodie, sticker, phone case, go to teespring.com/stores/ Two-Player Co-op. So they still have Georgia ahead of them? Has Georgia done anything?
They beat the crap out of some nobodies.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would have put them ahead of Georgia, but oh well. It's all going to shake out in the end. It doesn't matter. Also, we do have a Twitch page where sometimes we Twitch over twitch.tv/2player_co-op. Oh, I didn't say earlier, but yeah, the Patreon shout-outs. You can go to patreon.com/2playercoop if you want to subscribe, if you want to support the boys here at Two Player Co-op. Yeah, other than football, what's up?
So Texas dropped to 12. I think that's fair.
We only dropped 3 spots? Wow. Okay.
Syracuse, shockingly, is no longer ranked. Wait, what? Okay. And Maryland is in at 21. Michigan dropped to 10. I think they should be lower than that, but that's just me.
I've always liked Michigan for some reason. I don't know
I
why.
feel like I've always hated them. Just
Really?
because I'm so sick. Like, everybody just thinks they're so good. I'm like, what have they really done? Basically, since they lost to App State, what have you done? You're always, like, pretty good, and then you blow it, and then...
Well, see, but I've always hated... Hey, Glaber already hit a 2-run homer. I've always hated Ohio State.
Well, yeah, I would root for Michigan over Ohio State.
I think that's probably why I started kind of... And actually, it's probably when I was a kid, I was like, those uniforms are freaking awesome. I've always loved their colors. And
I like
their
the
helmet
color
design
scheme.
and everything, so I don't know. What else? Anything else going on?
What is going on? I don't know.
It's been a quiet week, which is nice.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Have you been playing anything this week, Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did I play?
I beat level 240 in Dr. Mario World. Did you try any of the new levels yet?
I haven't fired it up in
Do you want to know what
2 weeks now.
the new mechanic is?
What? It's probably... I'm going to hate it.
It's in the level they have some fans, okay? These blue fans.
I already don't like it.
They don't blow your stuff away.
Oh, okay.
But if you eliminate a virus that is next to a fan, the fan spins. If you eliminate another virus that is touching that fan and it spins for a second time, it randomly freezes one of the viruses on the screen. So it basically gives it double HP. And these levels are constructed so that there's always viruses around the fans. So now
there's nothing you can do about it?
No. The 3 stages I've done, I've beat them all on one try. So it seems like they give you a little bit more capsules, at least in the beginning, to get used to the mechanic and stuff. But I don't know. I was happy to finally beat 240. I don't know. It just, everything lined up perfectly. And like Toad's power worked great. And yeah, I was so happy that I finally get by that. But yeah, what have you been playing?
I think the only thing I really played was I fired up Link to the Past on the Switch, on the SNES.
Did you figure out how to get rid of the...
I did.
Okay.
They also have the Pixel Perfect mode, which once I found that, I turned that on, and just because. I started to fire up Metroid. I'm like, you know what? I haven't played Super Metroid in a long time.
Yeah.
And I still love that game, but literally, like, I kind of had my doubts about even playing it. I'm just like I don't know. I don't know. And I didn't even get started. I put my name in. I started it. I got to the part where it's like doing this story and all this stuff. I'm like, come on. Like, I just wanted to skip it all. And then I'm like, you know, I don't want to play this before I even got to the beginning of the game. I had my doubts about starting Zelda because I'm just
Why?
Just because I'm like, I know it's not that long, but I'm like,
it's still
I gotta go in
12,
the
15
stupid
hours.
thing and get my sword and save Zelda and get out of there. And it just feels like it takes a while to get going, like any Zelda game really does.
At least there's no goat herding like in...
That's true.
Or light bug chasing.
But basically, as soon as I beat the first level, I was off and running. I'm through 5 dungeons in the Dark World now. I struggled with that ice one because I missed a key. I'm still trying to think where it was that I missed it, but I was like, I know, in theory, I know what I have to do, but I'm like, I don't know. How did I miss a key? I'm here and I don't have any keys.
Right.
So I eventually just backtracked and just started making my way through the level again and found it and whatever. But I don't know if you could do this on the NES, or maybe you can now. Maybe they added it for Super Nintendo and went back, or maybe they didn't have it before. So you can do the save states. You hit ZR and ZL to do the menu. But you can also do a rewind.
No, that's new.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you just hold ZL and ZR for a couple seconds, and then it pops up almost like if you're watching Netflix. There's the bar at the bottom where you can, obviously you can't fast forward, but you can rewind. And it's just so you don't always have to create a save state. You can just be like, oh, I died. All right. And just rewind it back
like
to before the boss fight.
When he knocks you off.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's a pretty cool. I mean, it's same. It just saves you from having to really do save states. But it's pretty cool. I like it. I added to my library both PS Plus games. I went ahead and downloaded Darksiders, but I haven't started it yet. I let that start downloading as I went to go play Zelda, and then never went back. But at least I have it now, so I'm sure I'll fire it up sooner or later.
But you didn't download Arkham?
I didn't download it, but I bought it, so I've got it, yeah. Because that I knew I wasn't ready to jump into yet. But I do think I need to go back and play Ocarina at some point. But I think I'm okay with saying Link to the Past is my number one. Barely ahead of Ocarina.
What?
I mean, they've always been like 1A, 1B.
Yeah, but you've always been consistently Ocarina's
I know,
your
but that's
favorite.
what I'm saying. I think it's because I've played Link to the Past more recently now, and that's why I think I do need to go back and play Ocarina again. Gosh, I don't know. Now, see, now you've got me doubting myself right after I said that.
No, I mean, I prefer Link to the Past is my second favorite game of all time.
Yeah, I don't know. It's 1A, 1B. I don't really know, but God, they're both. I mean, it's a perfect game.
But wait, also more than where does it compare to Breath of the Wild? I talk about apples and oranges.
Breath of the Wild, I've cooled off on a little bit. I do still think it's probably top 5.
Yeah.
But it's almost too big. Like, I don't know. I've had the itch to kind of start a new game in that a couple times now, and I still just haven't pulled the trigger. And I honestly, I don't know that I ever will. Now, I think once we start finding out more about Breath of the Wild 2, maybe that's what'll get me to go back into it. But I love the game as a whole, but there are faults. That is not a perfect game. It is an unbelievable game, but it's not perfect. I don't like all the weapons and shields breaking.
That's what it is.
I
The
really
main
just
thing
don't
for
like
me.
that. And honestly, I really don't care for the dungeons. I think the open world part of the game is that part is perfect. But the dungeons, which are like kind of the big thing about the Zelda games, I think are just kind of bleh in that one. And yeah, the whole breaking weapons and shields and stuff, I'm not a fan of. And having to get certain armors, so I'm too cold, I got to put something heavy on so I don't lose health, or it's too hot here, I got to put something light on. So it's cool. I like what they did, but I can't say it's a perfect game.
No, it's for me. When I think back about it, for me, the biggest issue... Okay, now I've got the PS Plus games. The biggest issue for me is the breaking weapons. I forgot about, until you just said it, I forgot about the whole it's too hot, it's too cold stuff. Like, I remember the first time I went up to the colder area. Mm-hmm. I can't remember if I was on the way to one of the divine beasts, or if it was just a shrine, or if I was just like, I want to go up there now. And I didn't have warm enough clothes, so I had to go on some kind of side quest to get the warm enough clothes or something. And I was like, this is getting annoying. But once you had it, then it was fine. But yeah, I had forgotten about that. But the two gripes for me are the breakable weapons and the no real dungeons.
Yep.
So Breath of the Wild 2, for me, keep the same engine, keep the same world for the most part, but give us dungeons. And it doesn't have to be
I don't need
10,
like
12,
100 and
something like
something
that.
shrines.
Yeah.
Like,
I would much rather get rid of all the shrines.
I'd rather have like
real,
a tenth of them.
Yep.
And have them be for like heart pieces or whatever. But like, there shouldn't be over 100 of them. More than 4 dungeons. Make them more like they used to be. If you want to do breakable swords and shields, I think that's fine. But they should last longer than they do. And there doesn't need to be so many different ones. And it should only be the very beginning of the game. Even in this one, when you can get the Master Sword, like it's worthless when it loses its power. Like, you should, once you get the Master Sword, that's your sword. There's nothing better. And like, maybe that's typically how you get the Master Sword, where you get the Master Sword less than halfway in through the game. Like, if you want to have breakable weapons up till that point, fine, I can get by with that. But it shouldn't be like the whole game like that.
I forget, if you did the DLC thing, was it that the Master Sword never powered down, or did it just get more powerful. Do you remember what it was?
If you finished the end.
Yeah, that is correct. The Cave of Trials
If
or
you
whatever it's
finish
called.
that whole thing, I think it never powers down.
Okay.
I only beat the first of the 3, I think. And I think that makes it more powerful, but I think it still powers down just as quickly. But when it's powerful, it's more powerful. And if you beat them all, it never powers down, I think. But
Yeah, that's
too much work to go through to get a weapon that just never...
Especially when I've already put however many dozens of hours I put in that game.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Like the Master Sword never should have powered down. The other thing is the Hylian shield shouldn't be breakable.
Right. I got
Period.
that, and I'm like, yes. And then I pretty much never use it because I'm like, if this thing breaks, like...
Yeah. You got to buy it again for like 3,000 rupees or something. And no. Yeah. I don't mind having the different weapons. I think it would just be cool if it's like you start with one weapon slot and you go through, you can buy a bigger belt or whatever to where you can carry 2 weapons or 3 or 4, whatever it is. And you can switch back and forth if you want to. If you see a spear and you look at it and like, well, this is level 27 and my sword here is level 19, whatever, something like that, to where you can use different weapons if you want to.
Yeah.
Of course, once you get the Master Sword, you shouldn't use anything else. It should be the most powerful weapon, but don't make them breakable.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's still a great game. It's beautiful.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
But there are definitely faults with it.
But see, I guess, and everything you're saying, I think, is why that year, while I did end up saying that Zelda was Belder, it was so hard for me to actually, like, go back and listen to our Game of the Year podcast from 2017.
I will say, all things considered, when you really stop and think about it, I just have to say it's Zelda is Belder.
I was trying to be so serious.
That's what makes it so good. Zelda is just Belder. Oh, gosh.
Nadal won. Good for him. But I think that's why everything you're saying now, I think I was having all those feelings then, which is why it was so hard for me to still say at the end of the day Zelda was Belder than Horizon Zero Dawn. But again, that year really was 1 and 1A to me.
Yeah.
Like they're both 2 of my top 10 favorite games of all time. It is weird, though, because I went back and played God of War earlier this year, and I loved it. I haven't gone back and played either of those, at least, I tried the Frozen Wilds. I didn't beat that. Again, going back to my discussion a month ago or whatever, when the Messenger DLC came out, which that I actually just realized I never went back to either. I just apparently don't like DLCs. I never beat the Zelda DLC.
Right.
I didn't beat the Horizon DLC. It's odd, but I should go back and do a Horizon playthrough. But now we're getting so close. We're getting so close to Link's Awakening. We're 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
Less than 2. We're what, 12 days away? Oh, my God, 12 days away.
I'm trying to think if I've pre-ordered that. I certainly don't want to pre-order it again.
You just go through your history on Amazon.
Yeah.
I haven't because I checked just to make sure I hadn't. But I've got a $50 GameStop gift card. So
I got to do that.
Friday morning, I'm just going to go up there as soon as they open and be like, hello. Yes, I have work today, but I would like Zelda, please. I can't wait. Oh, I cannot wait to play that game. You been playing anything else?
No, I think that was it.
So all I've been playing is some more 3D Dot Game Heroes. I am now through 5 dungeons. There's 6, and then I don't know if once you get the last orb, if there's a 7th dungeon. I assume there's a final dungeon. I'm assuming you don't just go fight whoever. I don't even know who the bad guy. I think it's the Dark Knight.
It's Batman.
Oh my God, I got to fight Batman in this. I think the guy might be called the Dark Knight. I can't. He can't be
right.
the Dark Knight. The Dark Titan. It's something like that. The Dark something. Dark Link. I don't know. Last week I was through 3.5 dungeons. I beat the 4th dungeon. And then I got to the 5th dungeon. I told Sean about this a little the other day. But I was like, I'll just save it for the podcast because I almost quit. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go play Hitman Blood Money. That platinum's not as easy. I didn't think it was an easy platinum, but it is I think like 20% of the people somehow have the platinum, but it's a difficult list. You have to beat the game on professional difficulty, which is the highest. You have to, at one point, have $5 million in $5 million in your bank account. And you usually get like, or maybe it's 10 million or something. Cause I think there's like 8 levels maybe, and you get on professional you get $1.25 million per level or something like that. So if you buy no upgrade, like you can get there, but you got to do that. You got to get some other stuff. But we'll see. I'm not saying I'm going to platinum it, but I might give it a try. But I got to beat 3D Dot Heroes so I can get onto that before Zelda comes out. But anyways, back to 3D Dot Heroes. I don't even remember what the 4th dungeon boss was, but I beat it. Oh, what was it? Look up 3D Dot Heroes 4th dungeon boss. But so I beat that. It wasn't that difficult. Got to the 5th dungeon, and this dungeon, the reason I almost quit was you have to do this dungeon in a very particular order because...
Was it the Wind Temple?
Yes.
Or Flame Temple? Oh, wait. Never mind. Wind Temple, Flame Temple, and Aqua Temple all came up. Even though I searched for 4th. Oh, Aqua Temple is the 4th temple found located near Colneria Village.
Okay.
Does that sound right?
That sounds right.
The boss of this temple is the Kraken.
Oh, yeah, the big octopus guy. Okay, that's right. That was a fun boss fight. I won't spoil it. You got to go back and play this game, although you might be Zelda'd out after Link's Awakening comes out. But anyway, so the 5th dungeon, just like in every 2D Zelda game, well, not every because it wasn't in the first one, but it is in most 2D Zelda games, sometimes you have areas where you have to hit a switch. You have switches that are red or blue, and they raise blocks and do whatever. In this, you don't hit the switches, but it's the same thing. There's a tile on the floor. And if you step on it and step off, it switches all the blocks from red to blue that goes up, whatever. So as you're going through this dungeon, there's certain places you can't get by, and I'm like, what the heck? I can't get by here. And then I realize, oh, they don't want me to get it by it yet. I got to do this. So you go through the dungeon a certain way. As you're going this way, you're hitting the switches as you go, doing all this other stuff, and blah, 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 blah. And I had 3 life potions. And I had a couple of drinks, I think, when I was playing this. So my reactions probably.
You had your
not
own
the
life
best.
potion.
I did. I had a couple of life potions. But as I'm going through it, I realized some of these enemies are getting. Apparently I looked up. Apparently there's a silver ring you can get somewhere if you do something that takes your damage down by 1/4. I don't have anything right now. Like I've upgraded I got a new sword. I've upgraded that, but I don't have any defensive enhancements, and it's starting to hurt me. Although I did find out in the next dungeon I'm going to, the light dungeon, I think. No, that doesn't sound right. Maybe no, I think it's the wind dungeon. That's the next one. You find the gold ring there. So it's like there's no point now in me even trying to find the silver ring because I'll get that and whatever. They don't stack. But anyways, as I'm going through this and I'm realizing to get to where you're going to end up need to be in this dungeon, you have to, it's like in other dungeons, you get keys and you open doors and they stay open and that's fine. Or you blow open walls, so you do whatever. If you die, you start back at the beginning. It doesn't matter. Everything you did saves, which is nice. This dungeon, though, I go through my 3 life potions. And one of them I use because I was telling you there's these tentacle enemies. It's like they almost look like what are they in Zelda? Like out in Zelda 1, the
Octoroks?
No, Levy, whatever those things are. The red and blue enemies that come up out of the sand. They kind of look like those, except there's red ones. Which one thing I found is if you get a room of those things, a lot of times they drop hearts or apples in this. As long as you leave one enemy in a room, if you go out and come back in, they all respawn. So there was a couple times when I get down to like 2 hearts and I'd go in and just slash, heart. Okay, go out, come back in. It's a good way to farm health anyways, if you wanted tips on a 9-year-old game. But there's green ones too. And apparently, I think I had 10 or 11 hearts at this point. I can't remember. They take away, I think, 4 or 4.5 hearts every time they touch you. And I got boxed in by these things at one point, and I was like, oh no, go down, use my 2nd life potion. I didn't realize how powerful they were until it was too late. This guy was on top of me, and all of a sudden I'm like, I look up my life bar and it's down to 1.5 hearts. I'm like, did I not use my heart potion? Like I didn't realize. I was like, there's no way that this guy just hit me enough to drop my health. So I had to go back in there and use my last potion, get out of his way, / kill him. But then I had no more life potions. I'm like, this is going to suck because this dungeon's difficult. I got almost to where I think I thought it was the boss key. It ended up being the item. I think I thought. At the time, I thought it was the boss key, but I think it was it was whatever the item was for that dungeon, which now I can't even remember. But And I was down to 1 heart, and I was like, I can't believe this is happening. And some stupid little enemy just bounced a different way than I thought it would, and it killed me. And I went back, and I'm like, maybe everything didn't go back. No, everything's the way it was when you first go in there. Now, any doors you've unlocked are still there, but to get to where you need to be, there's no shortcuts. You have to go up over this way, go up these stairs, hit that button, go back down the stairs, go down the next stairs, hit that button, go back up, backtrack, go over this way, and there's no way around it. So at that point, I was like, I'm either going to quit or I have to go all the way back through this dungeon anyways. Luckily, I saved it when I got into the dungeon, so I still have a save file with my 3 potions. So I was like, I'm not saving it. I'm just turning this off. Done. Because either way, if I come back to this, I'm going to have to go through this whole dungeon again. I might as well make sure I've got 3 health potions when I do it.
Right.
Took a couple days off, came back and was like, all right. Jess had went to a comedy thing with the boys, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it. And I was like, I haven't had any drinks. I'm very relaxed. I've got my health potions. Casey's in bed. Eliza's in bed. I can do this. And I ended up getting through it. And when I took my time, I did a lot better when it comes to the enemies. I knew how they all act now. I knew like if I see the green tentacle enemies, either avoid them like the plague or just attack them from as far away as I can. Luckily, they don't shoot anything or like that. So it's really, as long as you're smart, you can keep them away from you.
Yeah. As long as you're smart, you can keep them away from you.
But then I finally got to the boss key. I got whatever the thing was. I don't even remember. And then the boss of that dungeon, which I read after the fact, is people are saying it's probably the hardest boss in the game. So I was like,
really?
Okay, good. It's this dragon that takes about 1 billion hits. And at first he's in the center of the room. You're at the bottom. He kind of moves his head around. It's just one head, but it reminds me of a Gliok in Zelda 1. And you have to hit him in his head. He shoots just 1 fireball at you. After you hit him 8 or 9 times, maybe 10, he'll start shooting 3 fireballs at you. But the way that these things fly, and I had found a red ruby. I don't know what it was. I had found something that let me upgrade my shield to a fire shield, so I can block them. However, even if you're blocking them, because when he starts shooting the 3 fireballs, because he shoots them as he's moving his head, so they're never coming at you straight on. It's like they're almost always at an angle, and you can only move. Well, you know what I mean. You can't aim your shield diagonally.
Yeah.
So I would block the middle one, and then the one that was next to it would hit me in the side. And it's like, but I had before I went to fight him, I got out of the dungeon, went back, bought 3 health potions, went back up the mountain, did all this, and I was like, I'm going to beat this guy, because I died without having any. I had 1 health potion, and he killed me 4 or 5 times. I was like, well, okay, I need to go get my health potions, come back. Finally beat him. His other attack is he'll fly up to the top of the screen, and you see his shadow, and then he slams down. But when he slams down, it's got like the circle of effect or whatever you would call it, like the ripple or whatever. Shockwave, thank you. That would hurt you as well. So you have to avoid that.
You can't jump.
You can't jump.
Okay.
But then sometimes he'll just do it once and then float back to the middle of the room. Sometimes he'll go boom, come back up, boom, boom. So it was a tough, and I used all 3 potions, but I finally beat him. So now I'm to the second last dungeon. Hopefully this week I'll beat it. Maybe tomorrow, since I don't care about Monday Night Football. Maybe I'll try to beat it tomorrow. And then I guess I'm at the last dungeon. Now, you said you don't even remember if you ended up beating this, right? You have no memory one way or the other. I really like it. I don't think I would say it's not as good as any of the Zelda games. That's for sure. But it's good.
Where would you put it in relation to Blossom Tale? When I think back, it's been forever, but I feel like I liked this better than Blossom Tale. But I could...
Yeah, I was higher on Blossom Tale than you were.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might like this a little bit better.
When is that other game coming out?
I don't know. Hazelnut Bastille.
That one, yeah. It's got to be.
Look it up for me. It's got to be this year, I would think. Roethlisberger has done absolutely nothing, and it's almost halftime. I'm not winning this week. Okay, I don't need to worry about that anymore. Yes, by the way, if you didn't know, we're going to talk about fantasy football for the next 16 weeks. We won't do whole, half-hour long segments on it, but just bear with us. It's got to be this year. No, this year's almost over. I mean, it's got to be next year. I hope. But they're supposed to be that they're doing like the 8-bit version that comes out first because they hit their Kickstarter goals. And I can't remember what that one was called. Acorn Valley or something like that.
October 2020.
Well, at least it's a date.
Jeez.
That'll be right before the 5 and the 2 come out or whatever it ends up being. So, yeah, I don't know. I really like 3D Dot Game Heroes. I wish it didn't take me 9 years to play this game. I'm having a blast with it. I'm so glad Sean was able to find it, and I'm glad I was able to get my PS3 working again. However, I don't really ever want to play my PS3 again after this. I never ended up trying to hook up my DualShock 4 because the whole thing that you can't even power down because the PlayStation home button, not the PlayStation home button, the PlayStation button doesn't work with the DualShock 4 on the PlayStation 3. You're having some problems over there.
Just go away. I can't there.
I can't there. But yeah, like just put Metal Gear Solid. Other than that, like I hope they figure out something for the PS5, some way to emulate PS3 games. Because I don't ever want. I have so many good games on my PS3 up there still. Well, actually, I don't. It's really because I've got the Uncharted collection on PS4, so I never need to play my Uncharted games again. It's really the God of War collection. Now, I've got 3 on the PS4, but 1 and 2, the 2 PSP games that were HD-ified, the Metal Gear Solid HD collection. I don't need to worry about Street Fighter 4 because I've got Ultra Street Fighter 4. Sports games. I forget what else. I traded in a lot of my PS3 games throughout its life. Last of Us I didn't have on PS3. So yeah, I really just if you put the Metal Gear Solid HD collection on PS5, then I'll be good.
Yeah.
All right, you want to get the news of the week? Sure. There's really only one thing here. And we talked about some of it already, but let's go through. I mean, there's a few things, but there's one big one, and then this was a slow week. So, Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct. By the way, we'll see if Colin answered my question because I wrote into his Patreon for this episode, but it made me think, like, what the hell happened to State of Play? Like, Nintendo does their Direct, it seems, every month or maybe every 6 weeks. Sony hasn't done a State of Play since May. They did March and May.
Really?
Late March, early May. Where the hell is State of Play?
I don't think I did
Now, the
that
only
one.
thing I can think of, it's funny if he actually uses my question, because this is everything I said to him, so you'll have his answers by the time this goes up. I wonder if they're waiting to do another State of Play so that they can announce the release date for Last of Us. I wonder if they're waiting to make sure, because we've heard all the rumors, it seems like it's going to be February, but if they're trying to actually nail that down to where Naughty Dog says we'll be done by February, so they can have a State of Play, show a few little indie games, some VR titles, whatever, a Ghost of Tsushima trailer, whatever, the final Death Stranding trailer, something. And then end it with one more thing, The Last of Us. I hope they don't even show a trailer. I don't want to see any more of that game. I don't want anything to be spoiled for me. I just want to play it and just end it with Last of Us, February 2020. That's what I'm wondering.
Could be.
But the Nintendo Direct, of course, this leaked early, but the first thing announced was Overwatch is officially confirmed for the Switch, coming out October 15th. It does include motion control aiming. Now, I'm not a fan of Overwatch, but I am a fan of the aiming with like I've said it a million times about Breath of the Wild, the aiming with the Pro Controller is just so like pinpoint perfect. That would be interesting. It's not as good as mouse and keyboard.
No.
But I'll be interested to see what people think once they get their hands on Overwatch. Also, I wonder how it'll run. I mean, it's just Overwatch. It seems like that's one of those games that might be able to run fairly decently without some major downgrades on the Switch.
It seems very busy, but not overly intensive or something. I don't know. I think it'll look fine.
Doesn't interest me, but I know people are stoked. I didn't check to see if it has crossplay. I assume it does, at least with Xbox, because they're buddy-buddy now. Luigi's Mansion 3 is getting Scream Park multiplayer mode, which is multiplayer mode for 2 to 8 players. Now, you are getting your interest piqued by this game. Is it piqued enough to get it?
I wouldn't say 100%, but it looks fun. I could see getting this game, but it could also be a game that I could see coming out to where I'm just kind of like Kingdom Hearts. where I'm like looking forward to it. I'm just like, I don't have time. I don't have time. And I just keep putting it off and off and off. And before you know it, a year's gone by and I haven't gotten it. But I'm interested. It looks fun. But there's a very good chance I won't get it.
Yeah. I've never played any of the Luigi's Mansion games. Everybody seems to love them. So I think this is one of those that I'll sit and I'll wait and see what the reviews are.
Yeah.
It'll probably
it's certainly not a day one thing for me, I don't think.
I'm sure it'll get the Nintendo bump as they do. But like if this is like a Metacritic over 90, I'm like, well, okay, maybe I'll get it for Christmas or something. You know,
right.
I can't see myself spending $60 on it. But if it
when does it come out? I mean, approximately.
It's not on. It's right before Halloween, like the week before Halloween, I think. Super Kirby Clash was announced and released that day. This is a free-to-start game that can be played alone or with multiplayer up to 4 players, either local or online. When I've heard people describe this game, Justin Davis at IGN said it's a mobile game on Switch. I'm like, ooh. Because it's free. As soon as I heard, I was like, new Kirby game, cool. Free to start. Yeah. So apparently what it is, it's a 2D Kirby Monster Hunter kind of game. Like you get your party of dudes and you go out to just fight this one boss. If you beat him, you get loot, do whatever. You can only do, though, it is a mobile game on Switch because you can only do like 10 battles per half hour or something. And then you got to wait, like your hearts in Dr. Mario World.
Yeah.
Or you can pay to speed it up. You can do this other stuff. I'm like, man.
I don't know. That should have just been...
Just
Why
make
is
it
that? Just make it an actual mobile game.
Or make it a $20 Switch game and get rid of the microtransactions. Just let people play it. So I don't care anything about that. Trials of Mana got its release date. It's out April 24th, 2020. It's also coming out to PS4 that day as well. This looks so cool. I never went back and beat Secret of Mana. I still need to because that's definitely a doable platinum as well. But the last time I fired it up, I was like, I don't know where I am or where I'm supposed to go. Like I have no idea, and I'm not going to start this game over. So either I need to look up a guide, figure out where I am, then just see what I'm supposed to do next and go from there. This looks so cool, and it looks like this. So this is a remake of, I think it's Seiken Densetsu, whatever it's called, 3, which we never got over here. It doesn't have the attack meter from what I can see in screenshots. Yeah, so now I'm like, okay, but you still got your party system. I think instead of just 3, there's 6 people you'll get, but you can have 3 active at a time or something like that. I'm like, this looks like it might be something that would be fun. It's out for pre-order now. It's $50. I still think that's a little high. Yeah. I thought it was going to be $40, which still would have been because that's what Secret of Mana was when it came out. But it looks really cool.
Yeah, I could see maybe getting this. I don't know. I need some nice, like... One thing I will say in favor of Luigi's Mansion, I need more games like that. I need more just casual, just pick up and play.
Like mindless games?
Yeah. I need more of those.
Yeah, that will not be Link's Awakening.
No, but I'm fine with that.
Yep. I can't wait. Return of the Obra Dinn is coming to Switch this fall. Hooray. I think it's also coming to PS4. Smash got a bunch of updates. Banjo-Kazooie is out now in Smash. And also, the next DLC character was confirmed as Terry freaking Bogard.
That's when I saw that. I was like, what? I mean, it's awesome. I don't care because I don't even play it anymore, but that's pretty cool.
At first, I was like, oh, that's cool. That's going to make me want to jump back in. Oh, wait a minute. It's DLC. I'm not going to pay $5 for Terry, so I'm fine. He's coming out November 2019. More DLC fighters are coming in the future, so they've got one more to do for their first year or whatever of DLC packs, and then they're going to announce more after that. They did add, I think they either added it, I don't know if it's out now or if it's still coming, I forget, but the home run contest is coming back. Have you played, this is like...
It was in one of the other ones.
People love this thing, whatever it is. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but people are super stoked. There's also new Mii Fighter costumes. Tokyo Mirage Sessions #FE Encore's out January 17th. Deadly Premonition 2 is coming out in 2020. Divinity Original Sin 2 is out now on Switch. You can bring over your saves from Steam. That's cool. Doom 64 is coming out November 22nd. Did you ever play Doom 64? Because I didn't, but I think I kind of want to play this. I don't know
Really?
why. I mean, it's old school Doom
Yeah.
with a slightly fresher coat of paint, you know? But
Right.
it is a different game. I heard him talk about it on GameScoop this week. It's a different game from Doom. So it's not just like Doom on the N64. It's a different game.
Oh, okay.
So that's cool. Like we said, SNES has come to Switch Online finally. It only took them 2.5 years since launch and a year since they started this online thing officially. It never should have taken that long, but at least it's here. Like we said, it does have the rewind feature at launch. The 20 games that are starting on the SNES are Brawl Brothers, what? Breath of Fire, Demon's Crest, F-Zero, Joe and Mac 2. Shout out to us. We always used to talk about Joe and Mac. Kirby's Dream Course, Kirby's Dream Land 3, Pilot Wings, Star Fox, Stunt Race FX. I feel like I remember the name of that game.
That's kind of the name sounded familiar. The box art kind of looked familiar, and then I never ended up loading it. But
I feel like it's one of those that was just like a tech demo for the FX chip.
probably, yeah.
Super Earth Defense Force EDF, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario World, Super Mario World 2, Super Metroid, Super Puyo Puyo 2, Super Soccer, and Super Tennis. I didn't even know those were things, but it does look like Super Tennis is a 16-bit version of tennis.
Actual tennis, yeah.
So that kind of, I might want to jump into that. And, of course, Zelda Link to the Past. So they got the three big hitters. They got Mario World, Zelda, and Super Metroid. They also did announce remember we talked a few weeks ago or a month ago or something about a patent that leaked for SNES controller for the Switch. That was confirmed. You can get it if you're an online member. It's $29.99. It does not have the rail thing on it like the NES controllers do, so that's good. But NES and SNES games will not be releasing monthly anymore.
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think it's a good thing.
No.
But it could be. It's not saying we're not going to do a monthly. It's going to be like maybe instead of a few games every month, maybe it's like a game every couple weeks or maybe a few games every so often. Like, I don't like it, but I'm trying to convince myself that maybe it's not a bad thing. What they were doing wasn't working, if you ask me.
Because they were just putting crap on there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they said in a statement that, quote, games will be added after launch, but those releases will not adhere to a regular schedule. I don't know. But then at the same point, I'm like, they got a lot of the big hitters for the SNES.
Yeah.
And you can play Mario 2, Mario 3 for the NES, like Zelda 1, Zelda 2 if you want to play that. I think there's some... No, I don't know that there's Mega Man games on there. Ninja Gaiden's on there, Metroid's on there. Like, a lot of the best games are there, but I just feel like I don't understand why they just didn't do a virtual console.
Well, I also just don't understand why there can't be much, if any, work to be done to get to emulate these games on the Switch. Like,
no,
it's just it's an emulate. Like, every single game should be on there right now.
Yes.
And should have been almost from day one. At least day one of the online service. Yeah. Like, oh gosh. I love Nintendo, and we give them a lot of free passes, but man, that's dumb.
That's the thing.
Like,
it's
inexcusable.
Like, I'm glad the SNES games are on there now, but they couldn't just do it right. They had to still Nintendo it up, you know? Like, yeah, here, everybody's happy. Here you go. Blah, blah, blah. We're not going to release them every month. What? I don't know. Oh, well. At least they're there. Tetris 99 version 2.0 is out. It's a free update. I've still never gone back and played that game. I'm just not good at it.
I just don't care.
There are 99 Invictus and daily missions. There are also new themes and icons, and there's a 2-player shared battle mode, which I think might be paid DLC, but I don't know. You can get a Daemon Ex Machina demo now. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast is coming out September 24th. It's also coming to PS4. Apparently this was a GameCube game. I don't remember it.
I don't remember it either.
Also, Jedi Knight Jedi Academy is coming out early 2020 for PS4 and Switch as well. I guess that's the sequel to Jedi Knight 2, even though it's not called Jedi Knight 3. I don't know. The Assassin's Creed Rebel Collection was rumored before. I think it was leaked before. But it's coming out December 6th, so you can now play Assassin's Creed Rogue and Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which a lot of people say is the best, or at least before Odyssey came out. You can play those on your Switch coming December 6th. Devil May Cry 2 is coming out September 19th, the day before Link's Awakening. Good luck with that. Do you care?
Nah.
Animal Crossing, there was gameplay. Yeah, I don't understand that game. I don't get it. Like, I don't
really understand much about it, but what I saw, what they were showing, it almost looks like, and I don't know if the other ones were like this, it looks like it's trying to be Minecraft. But I don't know if that's how the other ones were, but I don't know.
I don't know enough about it.
I could see how it could be. It doesn't really interest me, but I can see how it could be fun. But I don't think I'm going to get it.
Also, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition was announced, and it's coming out 2020. The second one looked like it would be cool. I guess a lot of people love the first one, and now they're getting an HD Definitive Edition, whatever, coming out next year. Again, I love that Nintendo does these things, even if there's a lot there that I don't care about. But it's still just cool. I just appreciate that Nintendo does this.
Yep.
Although, like somebody tweeted out, sucks to be a Bayonetta 3 or Metroid Prime 4 fan. Also, again, we didn't get the trilogy announced.
I'm starting to think it's just not happening.
Yeah. I don't get it. At this point, I'm assuming Prime 4 is 2022. So my only hope is that the trilogy, they're saving it for next fall.
I don't think 4 is that. I think.
Or no, I meant 20. I forgot what year it was. I meant 2021. Sorry.
Okay.
And then
That
2020
is-
is the trilogy.
Yeah.
I still think we get Breath of the Wild 2 in 21. I don't think it's 22. I think it's 21. Because it's still 4 years after
It
Breath
could
of the
be.
Wild. There's a chance it could come out next November. I think.
I would be blown away if it came out next year. I think 2021 sounds about right.
Because that's still 3.5 years after Breath of the Wild, and they're reusing as much of it as they can.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a chance. I'm not gonna go out there and predict it right now, but yeah. So shout out to Nintendo for continuing to do the directs. They're awesome. Also, Nintendo's teasing this new controller thing. Did you see this?
No.
It's a giant circle that's like this.
Oh yeah, so it's
you
like
do
a
this,
Wii Fit kind of thing.
It's got
or
to be. That's
something.
what everybody's saying it must be, but like Nintendo's just weird. Some people appreciate their weirdness. I don't really. I don't know why. I've never liked any of their weird stuff unless you just count the original Wii, I guess. Like I didn't do any of I never did Wii Fit stuff. I didn't get 1-2 switch and like roll the ice cubes and do all that, which now obviously they don't care about because they're releasing a Switch Lite that doesn't even have Rumble on it. So I don't know. It's probably Wii Fit, whatever. Celeste Chapter 9, the free DLC to end Celeste, is officially coming out. As you're watching this, it's already out. For us, it's coming out tomorrow. It's coming out. Chapter 9 is coming out 9/9/19. I appreciate that. That's awesome that they did that dating. That's not what I meant to say. They did that date for it. It's over 100 new levels, new story material, and the levels are, quote, very hard. Yeah, no kidding. It's Celeste.
Now, when you say over 100 levels,
I assume it means screens.
okay, because I don't really consider those levels. At least as far as I am in the game, which probably isn't that far.
I only got to World 3, I think.
I think I'm on 4. But I just I don't know. It's all kind of one. Yeah, I don't know what they mean by levels.
They must mean screens.
Yeah.
And that's it for the news. Like I said, this is a quick week. Next up, the wrap-up. September Game Pass updates for Xbone. They're getting Gears 5, of course. Dead Cells, Metal Gear Solid HD Collection. 2 and 3 HD. You can play it on Xbox, but you can't play it on PS4. Don't like that. I mean, you can on PlayStation now, but I'm saying you can't just like download it and play it. And Enter the Gungeon. So that's cool. Gears 5 looks like it's well received. I'm happy.
That's good. Yeah.
I still want at some point, I want to play through 1 through 4 and then 5. I just don't know when I'm ever going to do that. But in my mind, it sounds like a fantastic thing to do. That's the one Microsoft first-party series that I feel like I missed out on, and I want to go back and play it.
Right, yeah.
Death Stranding, it was announced by Hideo Kojima. I'm sorry, sir. I cannot believe I just did that. It will have a very easy mode for, quote, movie fans that don't play games. So he's saying, there's going to be a lot of people that are attracted to this game because of Leah Sado and Norman Fetus and I'm blanking. Hannibal. What? See, now this happens to me. Usually I blank. If you blank or if someone blanks and they're trying to get me to something, I'm like, well, now I can't think of it either. Like, you've mind melded me and I'm
right. If you would have just quizzed me and been like,
Mads Mikkelsen.
Thank you.
That they think Kojima, as much as I love you, you're not going to have random movie fans that like Mads Mikkelsen go out and buy a PS4 just to play Death Stranding.
I don't know. I wouldn't think so, but
I won't play it on very easy mode. It seems like I think there's 3 difficult. There's very easy, normal, and whatever hard is. But like, what is going to be hard? I still don't know. At least like we talked about a couple weeks ago, at least we know what the game is.
But it just doesn't seem like there's very much action to begin with.
To need a difficulty.
And yeah, like if you're just climbing a ladder up a mountain, like you can't really make that any easier or harder. Like, so what? It's the combat, which doesn't seem like there's. I don't know.
Yeah,
this game, I'm just so confused.
I pre-ordered it. I'm still excited to get it. Also, it was announced that there will be 2 50-minute gameplay sessions that are planned for TGS this coming week. So look forward to that. Also, TGS 2019, which is Tokyo Game Show, I guess I should have said that, there is a new Ghost of Tsushima trailer that is coming. There's rumors going around that that's not going to hit PS5. That's not going to hit PS4. It's just going to be a PS5 game now. I don't think I believe that. I don't think they would go out there and say it's coming to PS4 and then yank it and just say it's 5 only. I don't think they would do that.
Right.
I think it'll get a 5 version that's even more up-resed or whatever, but I don't think that'll happen. Days Gone got a new game plus mode. So there's that. And also, this was just an interesting one that Wario tweeted out. Splinter Cell goggles are on sale at GameStop now. And the description says, quote, after 9 top-selling AAA titles and with the 10th release on the horizon, this is your first chance to own Sam Fisher's signature ultra-high-frequency sonar goggles. But, again, there was rumors going around like a couple months ago or something that they might be working on a game for Oculus. And it's just whatever. Yeah. So I'm like, well, don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up. I miss stealth action games. Sean, did you know it's time for the Did You Know section of the podcast?
Yes.
I'm not going to give you a choice this week.
Okay.
Because this one's going to blow your mind. Sean, did you know that the Intellivision was the first console to offer what?
Online gaming. I have no idea. Wait, is it?
Yeah. An online service.
I just thought of the most random.
I was like, did I share my note with you? Damn it.
No, I was just like, what is the weirdest thing that could possibly... Okay, I got to hear this.
The Intellivision was the first console that had an online service. The Play cable was...
wasn't even a thing.
Was an adapter for the console that used a cable television system to provide downloadable games. It was introduced in 1981 and provided up to 20 games.
So it's like Sega Channel?
It was Sega Channel before Sega Channel, yeah. I had no idea.
What? I hope they called it something cool, like in television, or television and television, or something.
In television. I don't know. I didn't have the name for it, but it was just that Play cable was the adapter for it, and you could download games.
And this like existed and it worked. This wasn't just like
done in a lab somewhere or something.
Right. Yeah.
No, it existed, and but it only had 20 games. Obviously, it didn't. I mean, the Intellivision didn't last that long either.
Wow.
But yeah, and the new one's coming out next year, I think. I don't understand it. I don't know why. It makes no sense. Part of me wants to get it just because, or get one for Dad.
Yeah.
Now, if they're smart, what they should do is they should just build in every Intellivision game. Just ROMs for it. Just emulate them on there. Night Stalker, Lock and Chase, Othello, baseball, whatever we used to play on that thing.
Yeah. You would think so, but well, it's not Nintendo.
So maybe they'll do it right.
They might get it right.
Although they're releasing it, so I don't know that they will do it right. Just that thing shouldn't even exist. That's it. This was a nice, quick, short episode 150. 150. Thank you guys so much for being here. Obviously, you can find us on nerd901.com, so go over there for all things nerdy around the globe. I wrote down the wrong... I started thinking in the middle of that. Nerd 901, where they're connecting... Nick, tell me if you like this one. Connecting nerds around the mid-surf...
Nailed it.
I read ahead. Connecting nerds in the Mid-South and around the multiverse. Also, of course, check out Ernie the Blur Without Fear, youtube.com/ I almost said two-player co-op. Blur Without Fear. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Kevin White 24. He's at Real Sean White. Together, we're at 2player_co-op. We do have the Patreon page at patreon.com/ 2player co-op. If you go over there and support us if you so wish, we would really appreciate it. Again, we have Twitch page at twitch.tv/ 2player_co-op. YouTube.com/ 2player co-op. Again, even if you listen on audio services around
the mid-surf. The multiverse.
Go over there and like and subscribe. It means a lot to us. We really appreciate it. And if you do like audio, you can check out Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, and other audio services around
the globe. That says the globe.
I know, but you're supposed to say mid-surf.
Mid-surf.
Something's
Kevin.exe is crashed.
Prodigy. Oh, that was funny. When we got the iMac, we just opened up a credit card with Apple. We did like an account to pay for it monthly and whatever. And we got the card. I was like, I'm never going to use this, so I cut it up and threw it out. So then I'm trying to go online and set up payments for it. Can't. You got to have the account number. I was like, call in. I need my account number. Well, the account number is the card number. I'm like, well, okay. I cut that up and threw it out. But then, so they send me a new card and whatever. It's fine. They took payment over. It's fine. But then they ask you security questions based on like credit checks or whatever. And they're like, one of them was like, hey, what counties have you previously lived in? Just answer the one that's correct. Shelby. Okay, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. One of the questions was previous email addresses. And this dude, the first thing he says is
CPTJ72D.
Yes. He said Prodigy. That. And I said, I stopped before he could finish. I said, oh my God, at Prodigy? Like, you just took me in the Wayback Machine. He was laughing, but I was like, I can't.
That's because, I guess that was your name. Like, you specifically.
Yeah, but like, I
CPTJ72D.
just wonder how, like, I didn't have, like, Dad just created accounts. Like, I don't think he had to put in our socials or anything. It's just weird
how it's tied to us.
Oh, it's really, actually, it's pretty freaky. Wow. But you know what? I probably, at some point down the line, maybe when I was like applying to college, no, I had a real email address by then, I think. But at some point, I probably registered for something online as me saying previous email address or something like somehow to tie it, and then it just follows you forever.
Maybe.
But when he said CPT, I was like, CPT at Prodigy? Oh my God. That was my username. So anyways, that's it for episode 150. Thank you guys so much for being here. Until the next time, Sean, go and take us out.
Thank you for playing.